Golden Iris Productions presents Proton Creation, Triple Photon Confinement at the Preon Radius by Mark F. Dennis.
Confinement geometry. We use the same confinement scale as the electron. R sub 0 equals Planck length times square root of alpha. Numerically, R sub 0 equals 1.380 times 10 to the minus 36 meters. Orbital loop frequency. F orbital equals c divided by 2 pi r sub 0, approximately 3.46 times 10 to the 43 hertz. Photons follow closed null trajectories at the speed of light. Proton rest mass energy. Exact codata value m sub p c squared equals 938.272 mega electron volts. Joule equivalent E sub p equals 1.50328 times 10 to the minus 10 joules. Our goal is to reproduce this using confined photons at R sub 0. Electron reference model. Electron mass arises from E sub E equals E gamma plus E curvature, where curvature energy comes from forced looping at R sub 0. E curvature equals hc divided by 2 pi r sub 0. This same curvature term will apply to each confined photon. Curvature energy scale. Universal curvature energy at the Preon radius. E sub c equals hc divided by 2 pi r sub 0. Using h equals 6.62607015 times 10 to the minus 34 joule seconds. E sub c equals 2.29 times 10 to the minus 14 joules. In mega electron volts, E sub c equals 143.1 MeV. This is the orbital energy contribution per confined photon. Triple photon confinement. We extend the electron model. Electron, 1 confined photon. Proton, 3 confined photons. 2 intrinsic photon frequencies emerge. 2 times nu sub u, 1 times nu sub d. Total energy, E sub p equals the sum over I of E gamma I plus E curvature. Energy budget with curvature. 3 curvature contributions. 3 times E sub c equals 429.3 mega electron volts. Remaining intrinsic photon energy. E gamma total equals 938.272 minus 429.3. E gamma total equals 508.97 mega electron volts. This must be supplied by the photon frequencies. Two-mode photon structure. Assume a simple two-mode structure. E sub u equals 2 times E sub d. Then, 2E sub u plus E sub d equals 508.97 MeV. 5E sub d equals 508.97 MeV. Solve for E sub d. 101.79 MeV. E sub u equals 203.59 MeV. Photon frequencies. Using E equals h nu. Lower frequency photon. Nu sub d equals 2.46 times 10 to the 22 hertz. Higher frequency photons. Nu sub u equals 4.93 times 10 to the 22 hertz. All photons remain far below the orbital frequency, F orbital. Total energy closure. Total intrinsic photon energy. 2 E sub u plus E sub d equals 508.97 MeV. Add curvature energy. 3 E sub c equals 429.3 MeV. Final total, 508.97 plus 429.3 equals 938.27 MeV. E total equals m sub p c squared. Electron-proton symmetry. Same confinement radius r sub 0. Same curvature energy mechanism. Same closed null trajectories. Electron, 1 confined photon. Proton, 3 confined photons. Mass reflects total confined electromagnetic energy. Conclusion. 3 photons confined within the Preon radius reproduce the proton rest mass when curvature energy is included. Intrinsic photon energy plus curvature energy. 2 photon frequencies emerge naturally. Same geometric confinement as the electron. Proton equals 3 confined photons at r sub 0.
From motion to mass. We began with the energy equations that govern motion and matter. E sub k equals 1/2 mv squared. At relativity scales, motion and mass unify. E equals mc squared. This reveals rest mass as stored energy. Electron rest energy, 511 kilo-electron volts. Proton rest energy, 938.272 MeV.
Rest mass as confined energy. 2 stable particles, the electron and the proton. 2 vastly different energy scales, yet both obey E equals mc squared. This raises a deeper question. Is mass a fundamental substance, or energy in a bound state?
A photon's journey. Imagine a gamma ray born in a supernova. A photon carrying enormous energy travels across the universe for thousands of years, unchanged, unstopped, a pure packet of energy moving at the speed of light. Eventually, it reaches Earth.
Mass curves space and slows time. Mass is not just energy, it shapes the very fabric of space-time. The electron and proton carry rest mass energy. E equals mc squared. This energy curves space around them and causes time to slow relative to distant observers. Even small particles create tiny but real curvature, the same principle that governs planets and stars. Close to a particle, this curvature is amplified. Time runs slightly slower near the particle's mass, reflecting the energy confined within.
A natural particle collider. High in the atmosphere, the photon strikes a nitrogen atom. In an instant, energy becomes matter. A cascade forms: positrons, muons, pions, neutrinos. A fleeting storm of unstable particles. High-energy photon trapped, Part 1. Under extreme electromagnetic fields near atomic nuclei, curvature becomes extremely tight. A sufficiently high-energy photon entering this region can become trapped in a closed loop, its path constrained to a tiny orbit near the particle. The loop circumference corresponds to the Preon radius. R sub 0 equals Planck length times square root of alpha. High-energy photon trapped, Part 2. Inside this event horizon of the confined field, time almost stands still. The photon moves at the speed of light along the loop, and its frequency along this orbit gives rise to the rest mass energy of the particle. In other words, mass emerges from confined energy traveling at c in curved spacetime.
From energy to matter. Amid the cascade, something remarkable appears. a stable electron. Mass emerging from energy through a chain of transformations. A particle born from radiation itself.
But what about the proton? If electrons can emerge from energetic processes, what about the proton? Was the proton created only once in the furnace of the Big Bang? Or can stable mass emerge whenever energy becomes sufficiently confined?
3 confined photons at the Preon radius. The proton is modelled as 3 photons confined in space. 2 of these photons share one frequency, representing one type of quark, while the third photon has a different frequency, representing the second quark type. All 3 photons travel along closed loops, whose circumference corresponds to the Preon radius. R sub 0 equals Planck length times square root of alpha. Their motion is constrained by intense electromagnetic fields near the particle, keeping them trapped in this tiny geometry.
A new possibility. If rest mass is bound energy, then particles may be stable configurations of energy, not static objects, but confined motion, photons trapped in the geometry of space. Mass and inertia emerge from confined energy and the slowing of time.
Photon loops give rise to mass. The energy of 3 confined photons give rise to the proton's mass. 2 of these photons share one frequency, while the third has a second frequency. The 2 frequencies form a harmonic relationship, reinforcing a stable energy configuration. The curvature of spacetime around this confined energy slows time relative to distant observers, concentrating the energy in a small region of space.
Loops, curvature, and inertia. Inside this extremely tight curvature, similar to an event horizon around a singularity, the photon loops at the speed of light, completing the orbit along the Preon radius. R sub 0 equals Planck length times square root of alpha. The harmonic frequencies ensure constructive interference in the loops, stabilizing the energy and creating mass. In other words, mass and inertia emerge from 3 photons of 2 harmonic frequencies, trapped in curved spacetime, where time almost stands still. If the electron can emerge from confined energy, perhaps the proton holds the deepest secret. Is matter a relic of the beginning of time, or an ongoing transformation of energy? To be continued.
Waiting for you. There is nothing